Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently winning this war, although apparently there's a naval invasion starting up over here. And that's definitely a bit of a problem. I don't think we can deal with them with our flotilla, so we're going to have to pull this force back up over here. So we're going to have to move them not to a front, but to be stationed back in the Italy HQ. Unfortunate, but we're already doing well down here, so we'll just backtrack them, and that's okay. Now, overall, we're winning this war, but I feel like we've got a clock on it. That's the core issue here. We have a clock, and that clock is that our forces are degrading. So we need to get out of this war sooner rather than later, and we would prefer to just get Ukrainian Erzurum and transfer Cairo, as we said. As of right now, they wouldn't accept it, and that's understood. They still have some war support, so we need to continue to work on this for now. We've taken a lot more dead than Ukraine and Britain have, that's for sure. But I wonder about when we include the non-negotiating participants. A lot of these have taken some decent amounts of dead. So I wonder what the actual... Okay, we can see here. They have actually taken more losses than we have. But our cost of war has been higher. So that's understood. Well, that's fine for now. We're going to continue to push through here, and we really just want to wrap up some of these fronts, right? That's our primary goal right now, is just wrap up some of these fronts. Now, this is out over here, and I don't know why we're at minus 18 here. This looks like we should very easily push them back. Yeah. This is what I expected. Okay, so that seems fine. And we just want to wrap up more fronts at this point. That is very, very important for us. Out over here, this is kind of an irrelevant front, and I don't know who's on this front. I think it's just our ally over here, or rather a vassal. But that's absolutely fine. Now, they're sinking lots and lots of our convoys, and that is definitely painful for us, but we're actually doing kind of okay at this moment. What we need more than anything, though, is to wrap up some of these fronts. That said, this is getting really close to wrapping up over here. So that's good. War with the Armenian anarchist revolt has broken out. Oh, that's what this was. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I don't care about that. So that's irrelevant at this moment, and we'll just continue to push through over here, get them removed from this area. And now this front exists, so let's go ahead and move our unit to the front. They're already there, and we'll defend that nice and easy. So this front out over here, we have no one at this moment. That's understood. Down in Africa, things have overall gone very well for us, but we need to continue to press through here. So I'm going to pull a unit off of this front, and it's going to be this unit. We don't have any valid alternatives? What do you mean? I was going to deploy them over to this one, but okay. We just got military aviation unlocked. So that is a pretty significant technology, of course. And if we go into here, we can see that that gives us access to aeroplane production for automotive industries. And it unlocks aerial reconnaissance as a mobilization option. So let's take a look at what that would look like. So as of right now, we don't have a local supply of aeroplanes. So we're going to have to change some of our automotive industries over to aeroplane production. And the question is, how many of these do we want to do, right? I think we want to change just one of our larger ones over. So I'm going to queue up in Syria one additional building here to bring this up to the economy of scale cap. And then we're going to swap that over to aeroplane production as of right now. So that seems good. And then now that we have that, we want to switch these over to aerial reconnaissance, which we currently don't have supply for. I think we're going to have to wait a week tick before we can change this. Oh no, it was just a tick. That's fine. So we're going to swap over here, or not even swap. We're just going to add this. And that is, of course, going to... Oh, we've got mobilization issues here. We definitely need to be more heavily mobilizing all of this. Actually, no. this one. Our organization is going to be really low from all this. And this is supposed to be rail transport. Okay, so that seems fine. We'll activate this. Our organization is going to be really, really rough. No doubt about it, but that's okay. We know that our organization is going to be rough, and it will recover. Okay, so we're going to get all of these turned on here. That's all fine. Yes, this is going to drop our organization. Yes, that's absolutely understood. Okay. We should have done this earlier. Far earlier. But I forgot about this. So that's absolutely fine. We're just going to get all of this turned right on. There we go. And we do want to have motorized reconnaissance as well for all of these. So there we go. There's so many of these. Okay. So our organization is going to be very, very, very low. And that's absolutely understood. It's going to be a big problem. That was not the one that I wanted. Okay. And this is the morale. Gotcha. So we should see a lot more morale recovery, and this might also help our, offense, defense, morale recovery, and then that's formation speed and mobilization speed, and then that's recovery rate, which is a very big deal. This should have been done long ago. Okay. We're going to take a very, very significant organization hit here, but our organization will regenerate over time. So that is fine. We'll just get those turned on, and now our mobilization should be approximately correct. Okay, so now the question is, what are we going to be looking at for supplies? So if we look at these here, we can see that our organization here, we can see that this is the morale here. Our organization is 35, going up by 0.1 per day. So that's understood. That will take a while to recover. Okay, so these guys down over here, I would like to move them. I guess we'll have to move this one over to this front. We don't need two armies over here, that's for sure. So that's going to be wrapping up that front, and that looks good. Out over this direction, we're doing quasi-okay. Okay, so at this point, we see that Ukraine is now negative in their war support. So, if we scroll back up here, we see that this is 104 reasons now. So all we have to do is continue to hold on here, and I think we can. There's two fronts over here now, and we're doing well in both. We've cleaned up this front in its entirety, so that looks good. And we've got armies like this one, where the organization is incredibly low, right? And it's going up by 0.6 per day. So it is recovering, and that's going to be painful for sure. But how are we doing on supplies here? So we see that our government goods, market access is a problem. Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. I'm checking specifically for government goods, and aeroplanes are expensive as of right now, but there's not a shortage. That's noted. I'm going to go change Baghdad over to also doing aeroplane production. And then in Chad, I'm going to build about 9 additional focused on automobiles. So we'll get that going for now. So we're working on these automotive industries and munitions plants. That's all going to be done very, very soon. Okay, this front just wrapped up. So where are these guys going? They're stationed at an HQ. Okay, so I'm going to move these guys here. That's at 57 now. And then this is at 61 now. So then I'm going to move these guys up to this front where they can help out. And then I'm going to move these up to this front where they can help out. It's going to take them a little while to get there for sure. And now the question is, what do we have that's not deployed? Are you guys deployed? Yes, you are. These are not. Okay, so I want them to come up to this front up here. We need to reinforce this front, clearly. So that seems fine. We're doing okay up here for now. And we're going to have this African front pretty handily taken care of. Now, the 7th Army over here is stationed at the Senegal HQ. So this can be redeployed as well, and I would like to send this all the way up to that front. It's going to take them a while to get there, and that's understood. Okay, so we'll continue pressing through Africa, and that'll be fine. But again, we need to end this war. We definitely need to end this war. So we can't be dropped below 0 because they need to control Sinai and Urzum in order to do that. So all we need to do is hold our position at this point or push forward, and they have 87 reasons to not accept at this moment. So we're going to continue to press in Africa, and I'm hoping that we're going to have Africa dealt with fairly soon. That's the dream, anyway. So we'll see. We just need to hold on a number of these fronts. Our forces are arriving out over here, but we're pretty low on our troop quantities and our organizations. Oh, we just got an achievement. All quiet on the Western Front. Have over a million casualties on a single front. That's, maybe not the best thing in the world to have, but we have it. So, I don't think I had that achievement previously. Only 4% of players have that achievement. I did not have it previously. Okay, cool. So that's all fine for now. We need to wrap this war, right? There's no doubt about it. At this point, 77 reasons. It's getting close. We see enemies being in default, but all we need to do is continue to hold. And pushing in Africa is fine. Actually, they've pulled back from Africa a lot. So I'm going to pull this army up. There we go. And then I'm going to pull this army up to this front. Excellent. So that'll be fine. We'll continue to push through Africa. There's another front down over here now. So I'm going to deploy down to that front. There we go. We'll get these armies redeployed. Flamethrowers have been unlocked. That now gives us a 5% kill rate if we deploy flamethrowers as a mobilization option, which we will probably end up doing. And let's go for concrete fortifications next. Let's go into our military, and we can now turn on this. This is going to drop our organization again, but our organization is already pretty low, although it has recovered somewhat. And I do want to get these on, and that'll be oil input. That's understood. But that will boost our kill rate by, well, actually 5% was a passive kill rate, 15 offense and morale damage, and a lot of additional devastation. So that's all absolutely fine. We'll get these turned on. We don't actually lose, we lose a decent amount of organization by turning it on, but we'll get that done regardless. Okay, so this is quite a war. There's no doubt about that. But honestly, it's going pretty well. We're going to get these automotive industries finished up eventually here, but we're doing well in this war. I'm not upset about our situation right now. We do have a lot of forces moving around over here right now, of course, and that's all absolutely fine for the moment. Okay, so we just wrapped up this front apparently, and that's now regrouped into this one, so we're moving back over. Okay, that's fine. So for the moment, they're still trying to invade in Italy, and we've got that fairly under control. We're now winning in this front, so that's decent. Hopefully we get that front wrapped up pretty soon here. They're at minus 50, so they have 56 reasons to not accept this at this point. They're now minus 54. Every week, this is going up by 3.42 at this moment. So that's looking good. We have decent occupation of them, but not huge. And it looks like they're trying to reinforce over in Africa, but for the moment, I'm absolutely okay with what we've got going on here. What is France involved in? Like, what is this occupation happening here? Who is this occupied by? Portuguese Congo. I'm confused. Okay. Whatever. It doesn't really matter all that much. So at this point, the ace officer, sure, we're going to take that sweet, sweet army offense. Sounds good. And this is going to be interest group approval. That sounds okay too. But we're definitely struggling a bit here. We need a new general here, and we need out of this war as soon as we can. We've got 44 reasons to not accept at this point. If we can clean up this front, though, that is unspeakably huge. Because we've got a lot of forces here right now. And that would be absolutely great. I'd also love to get this front cleaned up, but for the moment, we'll see. Okay, where's this naval invasion? Venice. Yeah, this is the same Venice invasion. Wait, Ming? Apparently Ming is invading in Venice now. And that we can do something about, but I'm not going to risk our navy. We're just going to keep chilling. I'm completely fine with where we are. Ukraine's at minus 70 at this point. This war is going to be over very soon. They're going up by 4 per week at this point. This war exhaustion is getting insane. Yeah, this is going to be done very, very shortly here. So that sounds absolutely fantastic. We're handily winning this war at this moment. So if we look at our overview here, we can see, yeah, we're trading well here. We've put a lot of money into the war, but we expected that. And that's completely and totally fine. So that sounds good. We're going to get these automotive industries done in Chad in 3 weeks, and that will help our situation. Morale damage or kill rate? We're going to take kill rate. Excellent. This war is going better than I expected it to be honest. I expected this to be more of a struggle. And to be clear, this wasn't a complete and total pushover. We're fighting the number 1 and number 3 power in the world as the number 2 power in the world. And we don't have allies. They do. So, we're kind of single-handedly taking on the world at this moment. Not entirely, like France isn't in this, the United States of Europe isn't in it, Portugal isn't in it, but we're taking on a significant portion of the world and winning. That's a very, very good sign. So at this point, I want to check our peace here. 12 reasons. Ooh. And Britain's at 17. So Britain is going to be the one that's going to be the holdout here. But that seems absolutely fine for the moment. 18 reasons. We just need to wrap up these reasons at this point. They're at 98. This is only going to get to 100. Okay. Let's let it get to 100 here. They capitulated on Ukraine. Okay. So at this point, if we white peace here, so we're only fighting Britain right now. Ukraine capitulated and gave us what we wanted. So Cairo is now under our control, which means that we want to go and improve relations with Cairo. And we now have Armenia having borders with us. So that's fantastic. Now we're only fighting Britain. And Britain is irrelevant. Like, they have no fronts. They have to do a naval invasion. So that's a very, very big deal. And we just want... Oh, they proposed a white peace. We aren't going to get anything from this anyway. So yeah, the war's over. Beautiful. So we got everything, and we won that war. Beautiful. Okay, now we need to recover our military. And we need to be thinking about... why is our military not demobilized? Ukraine is looking to take West Ogeron, but, oh, this is demobilized. Okay, it's just taking a little bit. That's fine. So we're now making money, and we've got a lot of debt that we built up over the course of that war. We're also at negative 1345 bureaucracy, and we need to do something about that. So we need to incorporate some states, and the states that we need to incorporate are Eastern Mali and North Cameroon. Okay, we already had this incorporated. So that sounds good. And then I want to check about resetting production methods. So this is in North Cameroon. That's fine. In Wadai, we don't want to do anything there. And then in here... Yep, go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we need to take a look at our government administrations. So this is actually fully occupied at this point. I was thinking that maybe we put our people to work in the army instead, but no. Okay, So we need to build this up by quite a lot. So we're at minus 1.52k. So that means that we need, like, what, 16 of these? That's not too bad. So we'll do 9 here to get Chad up to the cap. And then I'm just going to build Wadai up to the cap, and that should get done nice and quickly here. So this is going to end up being plus 23 to bring that to the cap. And we should get all of this done, yeah, in just 6 weeks. So let's get that completed. Let's get all of these government administrations online. And of course, our military is currently recovering. Excellent. So we're going to get the government administrations finished here. How much are we paying in interest? 200k. Okay, yeah, that's a bit of a problem. So we need to definitely be bringing up our bureaucracy here. It's going to continue to come up a little bit, I think, but that's much better bureaucracy for sure. Okay, plus 1.35k. That's where I expected that to be. So we're at about plus 90k right now, and we definitely need to be working on paying off our debt. So we have learned that we can take Britain. We can take Britain plus Ukraine. It's a little bit spicy, but also we didn't have a lot of our production methods and mobilization options in their correct situation at the beginning of that war. That would have made a difference, for sure. There's no doubt about that. That absolutely would have made a difference. So, to that end, the question then becomes, how much more powerful are we than everyone else in the world? And I think the answer is significantly. Yeah, we're definitely, well, right now, we're not very strong, right? We took a lot of hits. We need to get organization up in particular places like this, and we need to get a lot of recruitment done. We're at minus 11.6k in terms of our balance right now, which is not great, but we could just raise our taxes to here to make sure that we are positive and working down our debt snowball. So if we can get that started and harvest this 193k here, that would be tremendous. We've got this unrealized tax here. There's probably not too much that we can do about that right now, but we do have market access issues. Some of this is probably because of our convoys being sunk, but one thing I want to look at is infrastructure. Okay. So here in Syria, we definitely need infrastructure. This is 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180. In Algiers, we need about the same amount, so plus 6 here. In Croatia, we've got 1 here right now, so that's 30, 60, 90, 100, 120, 150. In Chad, we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4. In Aleppo, we're going to need to subsidize this more than anything. In Hejaz, we're going to need 2. In Abruzzo, this should be subsidized. In Eritrea, we're going to need 1. There's 1 queued. In Deir ez-Zor, we'll build 1. In Israeli Konya, we'll build 1. And in Israeli North Cameroon, we're going to need to subsidize. In Urzum, we'll need 1. Okay, so that'll get our infrastructure under control. We've got some transportation shortages and an electricity shortage in Apulia. So let's take a look at this real quick here. So this is a power plant here. This just needs to be subsidized. That's fine. An electricity shortage up in Urzum, and this is probably a real shortage. Let's go ahead and make a few levels of power plant here. There we go. And then a transportation shortage in Israeli Tabriz. That's absolutely the case. There we go. And then in Nejd, what do we got here? Yeah, we're going to need some railway levels here. So we'll get that going. And then in Aleppo, what do we got here? This needs to be subsidized. And it is subsidized. We need people working there. Okay, that's fine. And in Israeli Fars, this is going to be a railway issue. So we need to boost this up a little bit. There we go. And then we apparently have an electricity shortage in Aleppo. We'll just subsidize that. Okay, so that seems fine for now. We'll need to get a lot of this construction completed, but we're working on all of this simultaneously. This is going to be 4 months. So that's not bad, but I am cranking taxes to the maximum. We need to get this debt snowball rolling, and we need to get this construction completed as soon as we can. Our main issue right now is market access, so we need to get all of that taken care of as soon as absolutely possible. We've also got some other shortages. We'll take a look at those, I think, after we finish all of this construction. But for now, it is time to put there's a revolution in Persia. Okay, that seems ambitious. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to work on digging ourselves out of this hole. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge, SKL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.